Hey, welcome back for another episode of Sunday Soul Sessions right here on Facebook and on YouTube. We are so excited to have you along with us tonight. We literally spent time with my big brother and my big sister, Pastor Joe and Lady Kia Henderson. And this continuation, listen, you're going to get something out of it. We spoke about marriage authentically, what it means to be married, what it means to stay married. Stay tuned.
It's time for Sunday Soul Sessions. Sunday Soul Sessions. Sunday Soul Sessions. It's time for Sunday Soul Sessions. Sunday Soul Sessions. Yeah.
That makes sense
Yeah.
to me, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not everybody is negatively impacted by not seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have the other.
I think it's
Yeah.
what you're talking about is very rarely discussed.
Yeah.
It's because it's always the contrary. It's always
Negative.
Yep.
I'm negatively impacted. My mama left when I was. My daddy
Yep,
left when I was. And then it's held. It's tightly held.
Yeah.
Mm.
But that also impacts the relationships you have going forward. Because it doesn't matter whether it's a marriage or a situationship. We see all kinds here.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you only gravitate toward the negative because of how it impacted you. You're not looking at the other side of I can do it different. And a lot of times in marriages, that's actually trends that I see quite often, which was highlighted by the pandemic and being in close quarters. I predicted. I'm going to use a different word. I prophesied that this would happen when the pandemic first started. We were in that February, March-ish arena, and I said, you know what's going to happen here? People are going to learn who they live with.
Mm.
And I did not know, God, watch my words, I did not know how that would impact so many people. But when I said it in a room full of therapists, and they was like, girl, I was like, no, for real. Like, people do life different because they're distracted by the things that are on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go into that space. You want to know why they workaholics? Because that's where they get the most validation from. Another story for another day.
That's
I'm
a
not
rabbit
hole. I'm not going there.
That's a rabbit hole.
That's another segment or another day. But I will say, when I said it, I was very clear on why I was saying it. I'm like, okay, so now the people who have only been acquainted with one another now have to live together and know what that's like. And we've seen an increase in sessions and clientele.
Yeah, that's good.
So for you, just to give the same opportunity to you, how were you shaped by the things you saw?
Honestly, as mentioned, today is my parents' 49th.
Yeah, that's a whole life. Whole
Wedding
person.
anniversary, and even just saying that I can recall a picture from their wedding day. My mother had on a off-white gown, and my father and I had a, what do they call it? A tartan plaid tuxedo jacket with black pants.
He had a plaid jacket.
Plaid jacket.
First of all, that's impressive. Even 49 years ago, it's way before I was here, but I was just saying.
Yeah, I see the picture. 49 years, and just so that I just turned 50.
Mm-hmm.
So just watching their ebb and flow, ups and downs, highs and lows, and all the rest of the stuff that came with it. Falling apart, getting back together, I seen it all. That, some stuff I understood, other things I didn't understand. That I would say at most that was primary. Then the church that I grew up in, there was several, others. One of my favorite deacons and his wife just, I wasn't with them all the time, but they were my favorite Sunday school teachers. and they, just watching their ebb and flow of their relationship and their marriage, and others do within. And then we, in our peer group, I think, weren't we the first ones?
Mm-hmm.
We were the test.
Yeah, we were.
That's
We were the crash test dummy.
No.
We were crash test dummy.
Yep.
So
Wow. First married of your crew.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh.
And they said if y'all didn't work, we wasn't.
Wow. Okay. I guess that.
Yeah. So from 96 to 2002,
it was just y'all.
No, it was
everybody
marriages.
got married after
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Wow.
and just that those are things that impressed me. Those are things that I can I'm gonna say this the right way. I think allow me to see that it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't perfect, but it's okay. You could rebound,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay. And learning the nuances that come with just being in relationship with someone as relates to being married to them. Just I tried. I believe she may disagree that I'm a patient dude.
Depends.
It depends.
I say that as a wife. I'm just saying.
It depends on what you're right. It is subjective. It's subjective depending upon what it is.
I felt like I needed.
Yeah. But but that's, and I think it helped me with the patience, because I'm not looking for her to be perfect. What I am looking for, what's important to me, is her growth and maturity. That's important to me.
Yeah.
Because even us sitting here right now, this is beyond what we do.
Yeah, but the minute y'all said y'all was like quiet and behind the scenes, I was like, oh, we can't all be introverts at the same time on a recorded line.
Yeah,
I get that though.
Yeah, so double back to what I said earlier about as far as protect even our relationship. It's not, obviously it ain't private, but I'd rather you speculate anybody's business.
It's well protected.
Yes, it's protected, and even if you felt that you knew, whatever the case may be, okay. Even if that is, we're working it out.
Yep. As far as you know, we're good.
Yeah. We're good. It's not faking it. It's not faking it.
It's just not everybody's business. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of being married. You got a person that you can tell everything to and keep it there, right? And they protect the marriage. Good boundaries, by the way. Good boundaries. That's good. Okay. Well, good. What makes marriage great?
God. Because I know I can't do it just on my own. I mean, all the things that I try to do to make him comfortable. I try to stay out of his way. I try to give him the time that he needs to be the shepherd or under shepherd that God has called him to be. That sometimes it's a sacrifice, and he always say, "Oh, you come first." I get that, but in my mind, in my heart, I never want to stop him or hinder him from doing something the Lord has told him to do. Yeah. So that's not in my DNA. Yeah. The Lord told you to go hop 5 times around about. Bye. Right. I see you in a little while. Or if he just needs some quiet, I really want to do something. And that's why I really don't try to say I want to do stuff, because in his role, things happen. It can change in an instant. And I don't want him to never feel that he has to pick me or the church. Ooh. So I try to, stay, I don't want to say stay invisible, but I stay less needy. I try to do for him so he could, you need to be quiet, or you need quiet, go down to the church. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and I know God he's the only one that's being able to give me that strength, because I can be selfish sometimes. And then I look at the bigger picture, and it's just like, okay, you could get that next week or whatever. So I'm to say, as he said, my growth and maturity. I'm trying to mature. I'm trying to be like, I'm not the only person. The world doesn't revolve around me. Is it hard sometimes? Yeah, because I'll be like, man, I'm sick of you. You at the church still? It's 11 o'clock. What is you doing? What is you and Jesus talking about? But I have to be like, you know what? Whatever he's saying to him, it has to be important. He got him down there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, all right, Jesus, I hear you. I'm be quiet because I ain't trying to be murmuring and complaining, and then you be trying. I don't need no problems.
Like,
so
I don't want no smoke, guys.
yeah, so he's the only one that's gonna perfect it in me, whatever he needs in this marriage. And I know I fall short. There's some things I'm not doing that he might need, but he's not gonna talk on it. He's just gonna, let it, filter out, or however you say. I mean, like, we almost 30 years in. It's just. Yeah. Basically, we play it by ear sometimes. We're like, all right, you ain't cooking today? Cool. I get something out of it. Before, I used to have dinner when he came home, be in the microwave ready for him. And I get to 50, and I'm like, I ain't doing that no more. We ain't doing that. And he like, okay, he allows me to be who I am. He not, well, you better have my food on the table. He's not like that. He's like, okay, you ain't eat. All right, what we doing? We gonna order out, or he'll get in there and cook something. So it's just like, I just see that's God is perfecting, or just he's showing me grace so that I can show him grace. And I think it's vice versa.
You hit on so many different areas. I'm going to be a woman of my word, though, because if I go that far, we're going to be here a little bit. I get it. I think that one of the major things about being in your role as wife, I won't say first lady, because you weren't the first lady first. You were a wife first.
Yes.
And in most cases, that's the truth. You kind of in it by default.
Yes, I am.
The wife part you chose.
Absolutely.
So how you do wife is important, especially when things change. Especially going into that leadership role, and now y'all both in the front is what worked to get us here is going to have to work to sustain us.
Absolutely.
That's the truth.
Absolutely.
That's the truth. So thank you for sharing that. I really want to dig there. Go ahead. I'm not going to dig. I just want you to know I want you. Boy, that conversation is so needed right now. People lose identity. So like you being able to, I'm going to say, transform in a way, or transition in a way from being the wife and saying, this is what he needs. This is what I know he needs to. Hey, tell me what you need. A lot of people don't make that jump very good. I'm going to go back to you. I might have you back from a wife conversation. I'm not a first lady. That is not my ministry, but I feel like a lot of first ladies could benefit from what you just said. That's me getting out of there. That's me getting out of there. I'm out of there. So her being able to kind of move with you when it comes to ministry and the call. I kind of say those things are different, but I won't go into why right now. I'll just say that I kind of make a delineation between the ministry, like the role, and then the call, because that's more involved. Do you feel like you are more communicative when you do need something? Or do you feel like you're like she said, you just kind of ebb and flow with it. You let it go.
More so ebb and flow, or the other, I think will be second to that, would accompany that. The other portion would be that I feel like I'm bothering her. So I
still? How is that a thing? I'm sorry, that was a little personal for me. Full disclosure, I'm just if you've been together past a year, you shouldn't feel like the person is bothering you, or you feel like you're gonna be bothering the other person. What is that? Help me
2 ways.
Okay.
I'll give you the big one. The big one is when she's into her arts and crafts.
It's her happy space.
Man, I could walk through the door. She won't even pick her head up and look at me.
She's in the zone.
And if I do ask something, it's huh?
She ain't heard nothing you said.
Never mind.
I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that.
She said, "Wow, I didn't know that was a thing."
That was that bad. I'll work on that.
That's okay. That's all right. See, we get back to sleep.
So it's really bad. She has a set time that she'll go to bed. If anything past that means she's totally engrossed in whatever she's doing.
Yeah. That makes sense though. Like that makes sense. You like if it was 9, 10 o'clock, I'm up at 2. Don't talk to me. I'm already locked in. I'm locked in.
Yeah, that's the one big way. The other way is just I don't know. I believe there's pretty much not too much that I could ask for that she won't do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what time it is. I mean, she may fuss, but she'll it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm hungry. You make me a sandwich.
Yeah.
She'll fuss at me, hit me, talk trash,
sandwich,
and get up and go make your sandwich. But just trying to be maybe considerate. I think that's the word. So I may need something, but if it's really, 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 really pressing, do what you want. And
because she could probably feel that or sense that. That's a part of being together so long.
But I think that it's vice versa. I think it's sometimes I think she's too considerate. When it comes to me, but just being considerate, and I think that's actually one of the things I appreciate, because she is I want to say this the right way. She is the best married single person I know.
She's an introvert. She get a pass. I'm gonna say because I understood exactly what you said in that moment. But she already told me. She behind the scenes. All right. Well, it's a very single person. That's funny. She has autonomy.
Yeah.
You have autonomy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna be my last question.
You sure?
No, but it's 6:29, so you have the option to stay if you want to.
Well, you gotta edit and chop it up. So.
I'm gonna have to. But I will say this: my question here is autonomy. Is it really important? Do you think to marriage? Period.
Yes, I do. Autonomy is not just from a functional. Honestly, it's a part of any healthy relationship. Outside of our relationship with God, He does not give us complete autonomy.
He does not. He does not.
He does not.
I'd be like, come on, Jesus.
Right. Well, just with our interpersonal relationships, our intimate relationships, in particular, specifically with marriage, autonomy is important.
Yeah.
Because we the two shall become one, and all the stuff that accompanies marriage and all the rest of that stuff. But at the end of the day, she is who she is, and vice versa. Even if it's some things that she doesn't understand about me, the autonomy for her to be her, do her, is important, because So you would you say the calling and the ministry separate, being separate. And when we talk about the calling, God has called me to the pastor. I didn't seek the pastor.
Right.
That it's not something. Oh, I want to be pastor. That's a whole different discussion. But being called to the pastor by God is not my desire. Yes, it had been prophesied to me down through years. Mm-hmm. But okay, that sounds really good. That's awesome. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So here I am, minding my business. Later. I will still be at
Mhm.
Yeah.
on their rat,
Yeah.
serving my bishop,
Yeah.
happily cheesing with me. If it were me.
Yeah, I get that.
So the ministry, when it comes to ministry, there's a pecking order.
Mm-hmm.
This ministry affects every other ministry.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts.
I don't, she's not one to pat you on the back if you don't need to have your back pat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get that.
And if I'm sharing something from the pulpit or whatever that I'm not doing, I'll get the side eye, the twisted lip.
She is the parishioner and the litmus test.
Yep.
You
I'm
ain't
to work on my facial expressions now.
My face don't have an inside voice. That's what I'm telling you. Even in this room, my face don't have an inside voice.
Right.
I'm so sorry. You say something crazy, I'm gonna look at you like you said something crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna apologize later.
right. That part. No, but it, the autonomy portion of it, she was talking about, we've been together more than half our lives.
Yeah.
And the autonomy, there are some things that I desire for her, but there are certain things that I don't desire from her.
Now,
I want to know that.
yeah, I do too. So help me with that. Tell me what that is. Tell me what that is. Share that.
Desire what I don't desire
you
from
said I have things that I desire
for her,
but
yeah,
but not from her.
Not from her. So the things just the things I desire for her is for her to walk in her calling. The things I desire for her are for her to be who God is calling her to be. Our desire that she have liberty in him as relates to their relationship so she can fulfill her purpose.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Yeah.
What I don't desire from her, I know she'll disagree, but I don't want to be the center of her universe.
That's important.
I'm not an attention seeker. I don't, I don't want, I don't want her to self-defecate to
like boost your ego.
Boost my ego. That may not be a popular thing, but I don't want her, even though she does it, I want to scream and yell and pull down the ceiling on her. She'll I think she sacrifices, and that's not a desire of mine. She sacrifices a lot for me.
Yeah, you might as well say it now.
What? So it's okay for you to sacrifice for me, but not the other way around?
Absolutely.
No,
that doesn't make sense. That's not a healthy relationship, and that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Because you deserve so much more, but then you would just settle for the bare minimum. I don't care if you beat your chest. I get that, but come on.
No. So here's the thing. In order for you to sacrifice, and I'm glad you said that. Really glad you said it. In order for you to sacrifice and make the sacrifices you make, not just for your home, but for the other people that are involved in this situation, she has to at some point be able to pour it back. And that's the sacrifice. Not always, and not always the same way, but in order for you to do that, she got to do something. That's her ministry. How you gonna say I want her to walk in her God-given calling and then dismiss that part?
I don't like this expression. I don't like this. What do they call this? This alliteration. I don't like it.
But that makes sense though, because it goes back to that. I want to make sure that she's good. I want to make sure that she's protected. I heard you say that earlier, and I'm like, but that goes both ways.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
Let's strike that from the record.
Oh no, that's going in. That's going in for sure. No, but that's real though. Like a lot of times when we talk about marriage, we forget that part of ministry, like, is that self-sacrificing. Now, it's not to the nth degree where you lose yourself, although people do lose themselves in marriage. It's not that. That's why I asked about autonomy, by the way. I'm still come back to you.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing to say. He done said it all, and then he talking about some not sacrificing.
Yeah,
but the autonomy, that's important to me.
Yeah.
Okay, she took my last name.
She did.
Gave me
Made
3
it great.
beautiful babies.
Yes. I love it.
3 beautiful babies.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, great wife, great mother, but the autonomy to be who she is, aside from those roles, all those roles, that's important to me. That will bring me joy. That's what will bring me comfort. That's what will bring me how do I want to say this? It will bring me added excitement.
Yeah.
Okay, he doing her thing. Good. It ain't got nothing to do with me, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because, I think you kind of said it earlier. I think sometimes in the role of the pastor's wife, they lose their identity.
Yeah.
And their individuality.
Yeah.
And
definitely their autonomy. They sacrifice autonomy.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. I watch it crash and burn a lot. Yeah. I'm fourth generation preacher. I've seen it.
and unfortunately, I think the expectation that the church has placed on the pastor's wife, not the first lady, the pastor's wife.
Yeah.
Because they're not all, like I think she said it earlier. They're not all molded the same. They're not. There isn't a cookie the same
not
cookie
anymore.
cutter.
Not anymore.
Circle. Look at all these cookies. They all circles.
No, we got some triangles. We got rectangles over there.
Yeah, and that they're not. That's one of the downfalls, in my opinion, of the church, is they heaped an expectation based upon what they think she should be.
She got to sing, she got to preach, she got to run the women's ministry at the church, all that.
Yep. And that's okay, but why can't she be different? Why can't she be called to something else? Why can't she be not even over, just why can't she be involved in everything but not run everything?
Right.
I don't want to run nothing. I ain't gonna lie. I help, but I don't want to run nothing.
He's like, nah, I'll visit. I come.
You need me over here, I can help you, but I don't want to tell you what to do. I want you to do it.
It's a part of a hierarchy, though. Like, that's why, because for so long the church has been hierarchical. So, like, don't let it be a bishop. I'm gonna just start with the basics. You got, if it is a bishop, you got so many elders and ministers up under that. You got the if it's a pastor's wife, bishop's wife. That's like the deity of the church, not God.
Right, I understand.
You know so like it's that, and then there's pressure. You gotta look like this first lady. You gotta do that. Where's your big hat? Don't let first lady come in jeans.
Oh, yeah, sacrilege.
But it's because, like you said, that mold was there. And I don't know how it happened or why it's there, why it has been there.
Cultural.
Definitely. But it's molded over time. And now you got people who are like, I'm not that. I'm not going to be that. That's not the way I want it. That's not how I move. I prefer it personally because then that makes you a real person, not the cookie cutter, not this image. And people love that because they just want something that's real. That's
real and relatable. relatable,
Yeah.
not, you know, to that, you know, when you have this thing is something. I think the church has limited what to look up to.
Yeah.
And they look up to the title,
Mm-hmm.
but not the realness of the person.
Yeah.
So
as long as you have that title, your character doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so to speak.
and that I was just about to say that, the character portion of it is very important.
Yeah.
You know, she's not a you know, a nasty person,
right,
per se, but sometimes with her quietness or her staying away can be misunderstood as, oh, she's standoffish.
She's the mean first lady.
Yeah, she's the mean first lady. No, and she's not. Like I think she said it earlier.
Yeah.
Once once she embraces you in her heart, she all in. And so that, I think that, you know, also what she was talking about is just as far as, you know, if I let you win, you're going to get all of me, and I'm trusting you with me.
Right.
So if you mishandle me, it's going to be a problem. That's really, you know.
Immediately on site.
Right.
It's true, though. But that it doesn't dismiss or negate the person.
The person, right.
That's why that's authentic. That's why people can gravitate toward it. Like, oh, you know what? That's cool. We ain't seen that. We've seen the Untouchables.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not good. But it's refreshing to see how, I'm gonna say, in the church world, marriages have kind of transitioned away from this. What do you call them? I'm gonna say caricatures because that's my favorite word to say. From this over like embellished view of a role to people just being people. Like that's it. We love God. We love God's people. We serve this way. We are people. Our Caucasian counterparts have kind of mastered this in a different way because I went to white church as well. I will say, you know, it took me by surprise when one of the pastors said, "Hey, Bob, how you doing?" Who is Bob? Well, that's the pastor. Wait, what? It's not even Pastor Bob, it's just Bob? Okay, I kind of like that. That's kind of dope. Because they were human, right? Bob could be seen at the grocery store. Bob, you know, and he was still treat you the same way, right? So, like, we're just now coming into that. I think culturally speaking, we like our famous people in church. We like our deities, the hierarchy, right? In the past, nowadays, this new church, myself included, I'm not here for it. I'll just be honest, I'm not here for it. Like, hey, no disrespect. I get what you went through to get there, but just be human. You can laugh, you can joke, you can just be, and it's okay. You know, it's a conditioning.
And you know, to that point, yeah, I think that's a part of the culture as well too. You know, like, you know, if the respect is intact, seeing somebody be other than their title, human.
Yep, human.
Human. A laugh, joke doesn't mean they are less than what their title is.
Right.
You know, a good, healthy backyard barbecue laugh is important.
Right. You're going to see me in my shorts.
Yeah, you're going to see me in my shorts.
I was coaching, so that
right.
was...
You're going to see me on the beach.
Right.
You're going to see me at the amusement park. And that's...
It's a life.
It's a life.
You know?
It's life out. It's life.
Outside of...
church. Outside of church, there's actual stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's actual... that's actually certain things, I should say. Christian liberties.
Why does it? Okay, nah, we already over time, so I'm just going. Why does it have to be Christian liberties? Why can't you just be human?
Well, no, I'm not.
No, that's why I'm saying that, because I know I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be separate.
Right.
right? That's where you were going, I hope.
No, it's not it's separate, but because of I use that term because everything that you do outside of the church is not sin.
Right,
it isn't unrighteousness.
But we've learned that's the religious trauma. If we just go, I'm gonna just call it what it is. It's religious trauma, and so we've had this church thing that has happened largely. Where now people like me and people that come behind me, no, we don't want that. That don't work for us. Like, I don't mind sitting in church. I do mind sitting in church all day. I don't mind because God already was here. He already showed up. Like, right. You miss it and trying to get him back. I already had my experience. Anyway. Right. But it's that I have a life outside of what you think I'm supposed to be in church. I tell people all the time, I'm not your typical Christian. I'm not your typical elder. I'm not your typical nothing. I'm just me. I'm having a human experience, and I like my human experience because it's not inhibited by what you think I should be doing. I just love God. I have a relationship with God that governs my actions. Like that. Let's make it more human. Let's be more authentic with what we're doing. Because all that hierarchy stuff, y'all can keep it. Y'all can keep it.
For what it's worth, actually respect is I respect my bishop.
That's right.
Absolutely respect him. I will
and he's deserving of it.
He's deserving of it.
Because he has integrity and character.
Yep.
He's a human.
He's a human at the end of the day. He's a human at the end of the day that I highly respect. Right. And what I've come to expect is there are certain things that he won't ask of me. And there are certain things that I won't ask of him. Yeah. There are certain things that he won't entertain from me, and there are certain things that I won't entertain from him. It's a mutual.
Because it's a relationship.
It's a relationship.
The church is built on relationships.
It's a relationship.
They should be. Yeah, that was too much generalization. Let me go back. The church should be built on relationships because that's how it started. Yeah. The church started with a relationship. Jesus wrote with 12. Yeah. It was 70 more after that. Like, so like that's a relationship. Yep. One of my favorite scriptures to talk about when people are in conflict is the separation of, I believe it was Paul and Barnabas. They went their separate ways. They had conflict. I talk about that. Now, I talk about it specifically because I'm like, look, if they was on the same mission but couldn't get it together and was okay to leave, much like Abraham and Lot, right? It's relational. It's not different. It's not different.
Yeah. And I think that's relationships. I say this all the time. Our relationship with God governs all our other relationships. True. So if no matter what happens, okay, we should all have the ability to relate to one another because I said this at the very beginning. God created mankind for a relationship with him. Yes. Genuine relationship. And then he already knew he knew man, everything that man was going to do. Yeah. But still provided a way for relationship with him, knowing what we would do. He's like, I know y'all going to mess this up. Yeah. So I know I'm going to have to send Jesus. True. Because that's how much, right. That's how much I desire a relationship with you. Yeah. I could wipe the slate clean. Yeah. I could start all over again, but that will, and this is just me talking trash. That would be an indicator God made a mistake. He did. Right. He had a plan.
Like, nah, you can either choose me or choose the relationship with me or not. Yep. That's real. And that's autonomy. That's autonomy. That part is autonomy. Now, when you call it chosen, autonomy look different, but we're not going to. Right. I can talk about that. My tissues is across the room, so.
So with you, you talked about idols. Did you say idols earlier?
I may have. I don't know.
Idols. I think you said idols. Mm-hmm. I think you said, or it was an I word, but I'll just say idols, whatever. And that in essence, that's what men end up doing. They always end up making an idol. Right. So Moses goes up for the 10 commandments, come down. His brother Yo, we gotta go, Cat.
What y'all doing? What's happening down
Right.
there? I hear
Well,
something strange.
right.
That's how I look at that.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
strange happening.
What are you doing?
Right.
What are you
I was coming right back.
Well,
he was black. That's how it was.
Right.
I was coming right back.
What are you doing?
I can't leave for a second.
A gold calf?
Right, you gonna make a cow? That's what you came up with.
That's what
That's what you came up with.
Right.
But no, it is relational. I think largely the reason why I do these type of sit downs and talks is because I want to talk about the relationships. I want to talk about it from a marriage standpoint. I want to talk about it from a religious standpoint and relatably mental health as well. I think that just having this conversation and kind of pulling back some of those layers, it allows people to see that, yeah, we're Christian and human.
Mm-hmm.
We have our stuff like anybody else.
Absolutely.
And we're not afraid to talk about it. Like at the end of the day, what you shared about the conflict that happened, you're sharing that from a standpoint of transparency, but also somebody might hear that and be like, nah, me too. I be holding my feelings in all the time and I don't be knowing how to share that. That's real.
Yep.
That's real. We haven't seen that in I'll say the church world enough. I was blessed to have leaders who were as transparent, who would say, listen, the struggle is real. Right? It's just like, okay, I see that.
Yeah, had you caught us probably first 10?
Look, the first 9 is always the roughest.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, so I'm big on numbers.
Yeah.
I'm big on numbers.
Always the roughest.
4 is direction. Up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west.
Is those directions that you run in?
Yeah. It's real. It's real.
Might have been a track star for the first 4 years.
Yep. It's
real.
And,
that's real.
You know, just perspective sake.
Mm-hmm.
We got married 9 days after my 23rd birthday.
Y'all was so young. Oh, I got married at 31.
Yeah.
Good. 31. I was like, nah. Good. Right? But I had to be grounded.
You know, young. I'm a kid.
Yeah, we're so young.
Yeah.
23. Why? What? Why?
I wanted to do it.
That's awesome. I know me as a 23-year-old, that would have never worked.
Yeah, and again, just talk about stumble, bumble, fall.
Because you had to grow. You had to grow.
I'm still a kid.
Yeah, your frontal cortex was not formed yet.
We're still a kid.
Wow.
It wasn't
23.
Yeah.
God bless y'all. Like y'all, so truly, you have grown together.
Absolutely.
You have grown together.
Absolutely.
That
so,
is.
perspective sake,
Yes.
our eldest is 31. We'll be 32 this year.
A whole grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. Jesus. 31. Wow.
Yep.
That's.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Age and maturity do not go hand in hand.
No, they don't.
Mm-mm.
No, they don't. They don't. Maturity can happen young. It can happen older.
Oh, yeah.
We prefer it happen in the younger years.
That's not always.
That ain't always the case.
That ain't always the case.
Sometimes you get a 15-year-old, 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a 16-year-old, 35-year-old.
Yeah, that part.
That's a real thing. Depending on what's going on. But you know what? The beauty of you telling me that you all got married at 23. Well, how old were you?
I was 22.
Yeah, she looked a lot younger. She looked a lot. Yeah, let me tell you. So we could be somewhere, and they literally would think I'm robbing a cradle because, like, what? Who were we?
I don't know.
We was at the movies.
And what happened?
And I forget. I don't know her. I don't even know her. But she said, "Your daughter is so beautiful."
Oh.
And I'm looking around like, where that?
Right.
Where
is my kid? I don't see my kid. No,
and
you
I
talking
said, you talking about her? And she was like, yeah. I said, that's my wife.
I'm so sorry, man.
Because she's 4 months younger than me.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. You know what though? Just be honest. Like, so we have ours is an age gap. I was 31. He was 39 when we got married. Very much an age gap. And so, my dear old man, I color my hair. He does not. So when I'm with him, I'm like, our ages, they really show. My little nephew said, "Hey, Grandpa," and I was like, "I am so sorry." They were 5. They were little, but I was like, "My bad, man, my bad." You know, but it makes for, you talked about maturity earlier. It makes for a very interesting dynamic. Because we don't have the same cartoons in common, we don't have the same eras in common. He might have been in college by the time I was like getting out of 8th grade, like that type of thing. Like, so it's like really interesting that sort of dynamic, and to see how maturity kind of comes into play. It's like, you think different. You think different than I think. Okay, we're working through it. We'll figure it out. At least when we were dating, that's how it was. Marriage is but yeah, I think relationally, just talking about all of this and kind of tying up this topic, one of the things I will say is what makes marriage great from what you all have said today is that you have to start with commitment. You have to be real, and you have to know that you're gonna mess up, and that's okay. And that's okay. It's part of the learning process. And you have to have autonomy. That autonomy is key. I always say and tell my husband this, I'm like, listen, I have never tried to change you. Be you. Be all of who you are. I support it. I'm with you. And he does the same. Support it. We have autonomy. I'm not checking for you. I'm like, hey, where you at? What you doing? What you doing? For what? We grown. I can't police you. You can't police me. We grown. We got into this grown.
Yeah, definitely.
That had some. We had to grow together. Right. We came in grown, which meant we had
stuff,
our own ways of doing life.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Just that journey of like how it looks now. Like we ain't been at this long as y'all have been. But for most of our adult lives now, it's like, I don't know what I was doing before I met you. I have no idea what I was doing before I met you. This makes so much sense. So wish I had met you sooner. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm very appreciative of you all sharing with me today. I'm gonna let you go for real this time. Sorry, I kept y'all over. But I'm appreciative of the time that you shared with me today. Thank you.
It's time for Sunday Soul Sessions. Sunday Soul Sessions. Sunday Soul Sessions. It's time for Sunday Soul Sessions. Sunday Soul Sessions. Let's talk. Yeah. Let's talk.